All right, guys. With me, I have Azul Gin Distillery. I have both DeWitt and Cowboy Kyle. So, first off, congratulations on the 2-0, and that definitely was a series.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
So, how are you guys feeling coming into this as Bancho and yourselves were equally matched in terms of the standings?
Uh, well, we came off of a pretty ugly loss at 0-2 last week. So we are feeling pretty feisty, I guess. Ready to get back into um, s- it feels a lot better to win. So we're just ready to get back having more fun.
Yeah, I mean, losing is definitely not fun, especially if the losses felt pretty brutal. Like you felt like you had no chance in those games. And yeah, it's definitely hard coming off of losses like that. But I mean, this game or this series in general definitely showed like you guys have what it takes to do well in this division.
Thank you. Yeah, we just wanted to come out in game one. Um, we were actually looking at that Stitches comp. We hadn't decided, but we thought it'd be more fun if we just go ahead and rip it. So we
Yeah,
just
for
went
sure.
for it.
I mean, I have to ask. So, is Leo your guys' preferred solo laner? I mean, obviously, Cowboy Kyle, you did a fantastic job, especially in game number two with those entombs. I mean, you had a triple entomb buried alive. I don't think you get more value than that.
No, I don't think you do. No, I don't think Leo's the normal solo laner. I'm normally the sub here and for the solo lane, but when I show up, I try to bring the Leo, and I think Leo right now in that double tank meta can just do a lot of work. That Drain Hope just knocks down the front lines, and
Mhm.
if with the way our team plays with setting up picks and whatnot, the Entomb just gets so much value. And like you said, at 20, that Buried Alive can just totally just disrupt the team at 20.
Yeah, and your guys' execution in game number one was extremely solid. Like, have you guys been practicing the Stitches and Malfurion combo? Because you'd basically get the hook. There'd be almost 100% like root follow up, and even if the root didn't land like directly on him, if they would be zoned out at the very least, and then you had the Jaina follow up pretty much on point as well. I mean, it was looking good that.
Yeah, it's one of our. I mean, it's really fun to run it, and we've done it. We've run it one NGS game, and we've run it in a couple scrims,
Mhm.
and it's just me looking for a chance, and as soon as I see SA, I just yell out hook. And he, I was saying after the game that our support guy Led has just figured out exactly when I am and am not going to hit a hook because every time I hit somebody, he's there, and every time I don't, it does no root. So I don't know how he does it, but I call it out. He hits the root. Just works for us.
He basically can see into the future. He's Rootstradamus.
He definitely is.
So, in that second game, uh, I mean, were you guys feeling like it was a roller coaster between at certain points you guys got kills, then all of a sudden Bancho came in and got themselves like a whole bunch of kills, and you guys came back in and got kills. Did you think it would ever end and it would not, or it would just like be a constant like they'd pick someone off and you'd pick someone off?
I thought we'd get more value out of that boss Zerg push,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but they like instantly cleaned it with Gul'dan.
Yes.
Uh,
So I have a question about that. Oh, what were the comms like during that? Because from my perspective, it seemed like a lot of indecision on what to do. Like you had the ability to engage with Entomb available still, but then you had members who kind of like sat around in the wave, not doing anything, and then you guys came back to actually defend the wave. And ultimately, Bancho actually got more out of their wave, despite having been both a boss and his Zerg wave coming at him.
yeah, we had an open keep and they had a fort there, so we probably should have realized it earlier. We were gonna go in and look for some kills because it looked like a great opportunity, but Gul'dan got I think like 6 dots of corruption on me on Diablo, and I was sitting at like a 7th or an 8th health.
Yep.
I was like, it's gonna be really tough to go in. We'll probably end up losing, or at least me dying.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
yeah.
So for these games, who does the drafting? Is it more of a team thing, or do you do it normally? Obviously, like Cowboy Kyle said, he likes to bring in the Leo for the front line, especially in the current meta. And also the difference in how a lot of people play them, where usually in the pro scene you'll see like the ghost or the wraith walk build where he just reduces the damage, and the difference in that play style. So is that just kind of like a team kind of decision? Like we'll have the Leo and we'll kind of like pick around that.
Honestly, I think that like the Leo pick is kind of we need a solo laner, and like I kind of play like the Leo is like almost like a true solo laner in the sense of, hey, we need to do this, and if we're in a team fight and I see something getting bad, I will back out and I will go make sure that, you know, hey, go back, take care of the other lane, keep the damage dealers there, keep your main tank there, and I'm just gonna go back and take care of the other lane. Like the Ghost Walk build is really good. I like it, but I think for what we're trying to accomplish on our team fights, that if we're not getting those picks, we need to go back and catch back up on the experience. So it's better for me to drop back out and go back and take care of the lane.
That makes sense. So how are the comms like for shot calling? Is DeWitt doing the calls? Are multiple members like contributing to it?
Yeah, I'm the main shot caller.
All right, I'm here.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm the main shot caller. Typically I just run the 4-man around, and call out camp timings, rotations, if we're looking for picks, stuff like that. And usually in draft we kind of come up with an idea what we want to do. Be that like, we want to sustain on the point, we want to pick somebody off, we want to just have extreme burst damage, AoE, whatever. We pick an idea and we try to draft around that. So we usually don't look at specific heroes.
Okay.
Except for, like the obvious ones like Hanzo on BOE, like you're gonna look at that, or Greymane or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're more so drafting around execution of a specific comp, and that is definitely a more interesting way I feel to draft. And obviously, you guys are executing your ideas around how these comps should be built. Like I love the fact that you've had Jaina in both of those teams, and just be like, okay, we're gonna root them, lock them down, and then blow them up, and then you get the double lockdown. You have the Phoenix with the Jaina. I mean, like the synergies that you guys have built into your drafts just looks really good.
Thank you. Yeah, we like to run that.
Awesome.
Where we like to run, I guess kind of everyone hit your R at the same time kind of compositions a lot of the time. I think that we have a little bit better comms in team fights than a lot of teams. So
yeah,
we can manage to hit our buttons, together.
It's definitely an advantage, I'd say, being able to hit the R's at the right times in the synergy with it. It's not as simple as like everyone press R at the same time. It's more like queue up your R's at the right times, and then everyone will die, as like several of those fights showed in Praxis Holdout.
Right.
So before we get going, I'd like to give both of you the floor for any shoutouts.
Okay. Well, as always, I want to give a shout out to our coach Ripper, that helps us with our decision making, macro, and that kind of stuff. He's helped us out a lot, and to Nutcracker, who usually plays on the roster, and of course to Kyle here, who fills in so well for us. You got anything, Kyle?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, shout out to the team and everybody else. Shout out to Kama here for giving us a awesome cast. Can't wait to go back and look at the replay, and especially Ripper and everything else. And just want to shout out these guys. Their guys are awesome. After being on a long old school chair league team, glad these guys are bringing me along for the ride.
Well, thanks again so much, guys, for the interview, and best of luck if I don't get to cast you again in the rest of the season.
All right, thank you for the
Awesome,
cast.
thank you.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
Thanks,
You too. Bye.
All right, guys, we're still not done. We got one more game happening in about 4 minutes, so I need to jump into the actual coin flip, as I gave like about 5 minutes, but line's pretty much on time. So I'll be jumping on over. Sit on tight. We got ourselves Moto Miracle facing off against Subject to Change. Both of these teams are probably really hungry to prove themselves in the division, as they are both actually on the bottom as it is right now. You have Moto Miracle and then Subject to Change. So both of them want to prove their worth in this division, and so this should actually be an excellent series between the two. So sit on tight and we'll be right back.